What up, YouTube? Welcome to episode 2 of Curated Topics. This episode is brought to you by Curated Scents LLC. Our candle of the evening, shout out to KS, is this right here. It is a Hennessy bottle. I don't know if you all can see that. I gotta figure out my camera and the glare. Sorry, y'all. But this is a Hennessy bottle, very special edition. This is the edition to celebrate the 50th anniversary of hip hop. It's got Nas on the front, and it is the Nas bottle. The scent in here smells great. The scent in here is called The Gentleman by Givenchy, and it was a super good scent. It's a cologne scent in our line over here at Curated Scents LLC. Very great scent. I get compliments on it all the time. I actually will wear this when I'm out, so it is a cologne that I got for myself to wear, and I'm always getting compliments on how good I smell. People asking me what it is. Little funny story, I've actually had someone, so I was doing a vendor event, and this candle here actually sold out very quickly. I think I had made like 3 of the 5th size bottles. One of the customers who came up, he came up with his wife, and so he had picked out a candle that he was kind of liking, and she at first was a little standoffish. She was like, oh, okay, yeah, what's going on? And then she picked up that gentleman candle. She smelled it, and she gave him a look that I don't want to describe because my mama watches these videos. She was like, look, and then she found out about the deal, and she was like, look, I'll pay for both of them if I can get this one. And you know what's going on when I like this one. And he looked at her and he said, oh, you'll buy it? Well, sure, go ahead. Man, they left hugged up together. That's all I got to say. So check us out, CuratedScentsLLC.com. We got over 50 scents available. We're also running a Father's Day sale. It's posted on our Instagram, and that's at Curated Scents _LLC. My bad, said it wrong. At Curated _Scents _LLC. It'll be posted. So check us out. We're also wearing I'm wearing Curated Scents LLC merch. That is also posted on our website, so check that out if anybody's interested. We've got some great designs going on. My partner and artist, she does a great job designing all the logos, labels, and love that. So I will post her as well in the description. Tonight I'm going to get into a couple of things. I'm going to start off talking about the Pacers versus the Knicks. Pacers got the dub tonight. It was a decent game up until the end there. The Knicks, man, it's over for them. But we knew that. They don't ever do nothing. We ain't worried about them. I'm just sad, it's not the Cavs versus the Knicks, because we would have won that thing. For sure. We definitely would have won that thing. But congratulations to the Pacers. They are up 3-1. I don't see them losing that 3-1 lead. Great game by Tyrese Halliburton. He had a triple-double tonight. I want to say it was like 34 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists, something like that. I don't have the stats in front of me, but great game for him. Why do I bring him up? I bring him up because, first of all, everybody called him overrated this year. In the end of the year survey, almost all the players said he was overrated. And he has come out to show how overrated is he now. You know what I mean? He is balling. And I think he took those words to heart, and he is out to show the league that he is the next superstar point guard. Him, maybe Shea. I think Shea is more of a shooting guard, but anyway, those two are really putting their names out there as the quote-unquote changing of the guard. And Tyrese is out to play. Pause. He is balling, hitting big shots, game winners, game tying shots, all this in the playoffs, and he is really performing. He is really showing that he isn't underrated. Overrated. I'm sorry. I said underrated earlier. I meant overrated. But he is really showing that he is not overrated. He actually might be underrated, to be honest. He is showing that he is a star in this league, and I wanted to lead off with that tonight as part of a little bit of motivation, just to share with you all. Like, this goes to show you are not what other people say you are. You are who you decide you're going to be. He could have listened to everybody else who told him, hey, you're overrated, you can't play it all like that, you know, your game only translates in the regular season. And you know what? He has come out, he has shut all those doubters down, he has taken all those narratives and not listened to them and flipped them into something else. And it's making his story and his legacy even greater. So I say that to you all. Don't let your circumstances and don't let other people define who you are. You are in control of your own life. You are in control of your story. If anybody has any doubts that they want to share upon you, you take that and you turn that into something else. Turn that into your greatness. So, moving on from the Pacers and the Knicks and the Tyrese Halliburton, I want to transition that into a story from my own life. I was just talking about not letting your circumstances define you. I'm going to read a little Facebook post, so bear with me. I may botch this up. I will try my best. But I'm reading something from my own Facebook, and it's really about one of the more proud moments of my life, which was graduating from college. I went through a very rough patch in life where I was out of the school system for about 6 years. I started school late. I started at 22. Started at a community college and then transferred to a 4-year university. And I wrote a little bit of a reflection post once I graduated and received my diploma. So I wanted to read that for you all tonight. It starts like this. It's taken me a while to sit and reflect on my journey before I shared a post about me reaching the finish line of my collegiate chapter of my life. I wanted to do a writing to read at our graduation ceremony, but COVID took that away from me. So here it goes. This is the realest ish I ever wrote. I'm a 28-year-old proud graduate of a certain university. I'm not going to dox myself. I am a non-traditional student in the fullest sense of the phrase. I used to attend a very prestigious private school in Cleveland and should have graduated from there in 2010 and then began my college and graduated in 2014. So how did I end up graduating in 2020? Like many families, mine was incredibly affected by the recession of 2008, and I was forced to leave private school, the one that I was attending. Unlike many other students, I was unable to transfer and attend anywhere else and had to do homeschooling. So homeschooling during this time proved to have its own challenges, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on in some other videos. But after a lot of self-teaching and working, I received my GED with some of the highest scores ever posted in the state. Once I finished, I was approached by a community college here in Cleveland, and I enrolled with the purpose of transferring to a 4-year university. I was nervous because I hadn't been in the school setting for 6 years, and when I was in high school at the private school, I wasn't the student I should have been, and I wasn't the student I could have been. I used this time as motivation to do better and put my best effort back into school and finish my first year at the community college with a 4.0 GPA. So how did I get to Now that's a crazy story. I was actually leaving an economics class at the community college that I was at. Anybody who knows me knows I love music. I have my headphones in. I'm walking down the hallway, and as the song is transitioning to the end, so towards silence, I hear a guy running up behind me. He doesn't know my name or anything, but he's kind of like trying to flag me down, shouting and stuff like that. And I just so happened to like pay attention and turn around. And when I heard him, I was like, is this guy talking to me? Like, I saw him, and I'm thinking something else is going on. But for whatever reason, I took my headphone out before the next song started. And he just walked up to me and he said, hey man, I never get up from my table, but I looked at you and I could tell by the way you were walking, something told me to get up and come and talk to you. And I just looked at it as, okay, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, what are you trying to sell me? But there was something in the back of my mind that was like, no, you need to stop and listen to this. And he said, yeah, I'm a recruiter from this school, and I could just tell by your aura, by your demeanor, that, with all due respect, you don't really belong here. And that was the thing that really stuck with me and clicked in my mind. And I was like, okay, what you got to say? Like, I don't think I belong here either. But, I'm doing what I have to do to get good grades. I'm interested in transferring to a 4-year university. And he said, well, let me tell you about this college. Have you heard of it before? And I said, oh yeah, I've been down there to visit. I had some friends who went there before I started school, so I went and visited them. Like, I've hung out there, I've kicked it, all that sort of thing, but I didn't like go look at classes or anything like that. It really wasn't even on my radar, to be honest. But I'm willing to hear you out. And so he started telling me about the school and things like that. And he said, well, I know you're here at the community college, so if you have like a 3.0 GPA, I'm pretty sure you would get accepted. So if you don't mind me asking you, what are your grades looking like right now? And I just kind of laughed and I was like, yeah, well, right now I have a 4.0. And he went from being very like positive. He was still positive, but he went from having that, kind of positive smile on his face and all of that, and got very serious. And he was like, no, apply. Like, this is the deadline. Fill out an application, please, because this could be your ticket. And I will never forget that conversation. I don't remember what this guy looks like, all like that. I don't even remember if we exchanged names, but that conversation really stuck with me. And I was very nervous because all the things I went through in high school, my journey even getting into the community college, being in the classes there, how was that going to translate? But, I took the risk and I filled out the application. And there were some things that I had to do in between time. They had asked me to write an essay. At first the essay was optional, so I don't remember if I did it or not at first, but then they asked me to write an essay, so I wrote the essay. And when they asked me after the fact, I was like, oh man, I don't know if they're interested in me or not. I was a little bit nervous, and I didn't get mail for a long time. So I just kind of was like, okay, well, I'll be going back to this community college. I'm going to, do that, get more classes under my belt, figure out maybe I'll get an associate's degree or something like that. And then 10 days before classes started at the 4-year university, I got a letter in the mail saying that I was accepted. So, with that being said, I want you all to see the motivation in that. One, you have to be open for opportunity. Opportunities don't knock when it knocks, but you have to be ready and open to accepting it and being able to answer the door when it knocks. You have to be comfortable with taking a risk. A lot of times we want to be comfortable in life. We want to be happy. We want to be, stable and right where we are. But we can't get better without putting ourselves out there and taking a risk. You'll never advance without taking a step. You can't move forward without being willing to take that step in order to go in that direction. So, use that story as motivation for yourself. If you're thinking about doing anything, find out what the first step is and take it, because you never know how that will impact your life. I was so proud to be able to come home on my graduation day knowing that I graduated, even though we didn't get a chance to walk across the stage, which I wish we did. I wish they would have did something for us later or something like that. But being able to come home, know that I graduated, know that I did it, that's one of the more proud moments of my life, especially knowing everything that I went through. So, I hope you all take some motivation from that, and we're going to move on to the next topic. I'm going to talk about a little bit of sports. I'm going to talk about the Browns. It's been a couple of weeks, but I'm going to talk about our draft picks. My thoughts on us trading our number 2 pick. I was really happy we did this time. Unlike another time when we had the opportunity to get Julio Jones, I was really mad about that because I really liked Julio Jones. I thought that he would have been a very dynamic player for us here. He was a huge strong wide receiver, and we see what his career ended up being. I think he could have really produced for us, but that's neither here nor there. I'm talking about what we did this year. And with trading away that number 2 pick, I think it was very beneficial for us. I also think it was beneficial for Travis Hunter. Now, Travis Hunter has made it very clear that he wants to at least attempt to play both sides of the ball. So that's both offense and defense. I don't think that would have been a success here in Cleveland. I really don't. Despite what others may say or think, the AFC North division, so that's Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers. Ain't no way you playing both sides of the ball and you play 2 games against 3 of those teams. Like, there's no way. Your career is not going to be what you think it is trying to do that here. He's not the biggest wide receiver either. And although there are many wide receivers who are more slender, or smaller guys, they're more successful in other divisions. They're not the small guys don't really do it that much here, and that's no shot at them. That's just the way this division is. That's how it's always going to be. We play super hard-nosed football here, and I just don't think that he would make it trying to play both sides of the ball. I think he would suffer some injuries. If not, it just wouldn't work. I don't want to put anything out there into the ether about injuries. So, but I'm glad at the moves that we made. I think our other draft picks were pretty decent. Getting more guys for defense, getting another guy on the defensive line to go along with Miles. I can't wait to see what Miles does this year. I'm really excited about that. Our QB acquisitions, I really like the fact that we beefed up our QB core. Us getting the guy from Oregon, I think his name's Gabriel. I didn't like him in college, but that's because I'm an Ohio State fan. But I hope he serves us well here. The addition of Shedeur Sanders, I really like that too. I was a little bit surprised that he dropped so far down. I'm not really sure what was up with that. There's a lot of speculation about GMs being told not to draft him and all this other stuff. I don't really care. He's on the Browns. Cool with me. I think that the level of attention that he's going to bring is going to be good. I think that, him being from the prime family line is a good thing. And I think that he has a chance to be here in a smaller market where he can just kind of put his head down and focus on football. You're not in New York or Oakland or, Dallas, where they're super huge markets and you can really get distracted by a lot of outside things, especially early on in your career. So I think this will be a good place for him. And not only that, with the return of my boy Flacco off the couch, this gives Joe Flacco the opportunity to work on grooming these guys, I'm excited that Flacco is back. I'll talk about that in another episode as well. Just some thoughts that I had about why he should have never left. But I'm glad that he's back. He was a fan favorite here in Cleveland. And I really think he now has the opportunity to not only groom the young guys and show them what it takes to be a elite or semi-elite quarterback, but also he may be able to share some insights with Deshaun Watson. Now, I know us Cleveland fans are very frustrated with Deshaun, but if he's going to stay here, I think that there's a few things that I think we could do for him to at least kind of get back to being not what he used to be, but at least get him back to being a serviceable quarterback. The first thing is we need to tell him, hey, just check your ego, man. You have not been playing well since being here, and you really need to put the time in to get your body right, get your mind right, and get back into the flow of football. Now, that means you ain't sitting during the preseason. You need those in-game reps. And I think it was Michael Irvin on It Is What It Is. Shout out to It Is What It Is. I love that show. Cam and Mace sports show. But Michael Irvin, who's their NFL analyst, he made a great point. He said, part of the reason that Deshaun isn't doing so well is because he's not getting those in-game reps before the season starts. And I totally agree with that. Like, he should not be sitting at all. To be honest, I'd be like, yo, you're about to play at least 2-3 quarters out this game, because he sat for damn near 2.5 years. So you got all your sitting out the way already. It's time for you to get back in rhythm, get back into the game, get those reps in, practice, and all of that. So no more sitting in preseason. You're not playing just 1-2 snaps. No, get out there, get the juices flowing, pause, and get moving. The other thing is I would tell him, listen to Joe Flacco. If Joe Flacco can teach you anything, he literally remade his career getting up off the couch. This man was sitting on the couch chilling with his family, no disrespect, but he was chilling with his family, throwing darts to his kids in the street when the Browns said, hey, we need a quarterback. And he said, well, I mean, I can come work out for y'all. And then he won us 7 games. So you need to sit down. You need to take notes. I'm talking about Deshaun. Take notes from Joe Flacco, man. He can show you what it takes to at least be a halfway decent comeback player. And that's all we want you to be honest, here in Cleveland. We want you to do that. We want you to show up and put in the effort. And we can recognize when you're putting in the effort. It might not always go, into a win or something like that, but we don't want these embarrassing losses anymore. So what I would do with Deshaun, I would have him just sit and learn and a lot of practice. Now, the one thing I do want to know from the Browns is what's going on with Nick Chubb, man. This man has put in a lot of work for us, and I'm not saying he just should get paid all like that, because he has suffered 2 serious injuries over the last 2 years, but I do think that he deserves to be on this team, and he's a fan favorite. We like the way that he produces. I don't think that he's done in terms of producing. I also think that he can kind of be like Joe Flacco and lead the way with our young running backs who are coming up. He can show them the way. He can show them the ropes. He can do what he needs to do in order to produce and things like that. He's still a dangerous running back. Tell him, hey, we need 5 yards, he'll get us 8. I still believe that he can produce for us. So I really want to know what's going on with Nick Chubb. I hope that we keep him. I heard some of the rumors that Kansas City is looking at him. Don't let him go to Kansas City. I'm tired of them, to be honest. I'm tired of Kansas City. So Browns, if you're listening, if anybody hears this, do what you got to do to keep Nick Chubb. Work it out. All those things. Now, I'm not saying you got to pay him a ton of money, but try to work it out, please. For the fans' sake, at least. We love Nick Chubb, pause. We love him. So do what you got to do to keep him around. All right, final topic of the evening. I'm going to talk about some music. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I love music. I absolutely love it. As you can see in the background, I got Chance the Rapper. I will be having some more artwork. Don't worry. I have more artwork. I just gotta pull some stuff out, see what I want to go where, and then put it up. But we build it as we fly it. Y'all will see what I got. Pause. Y'all will see what I got at a later date. We're working on it. But anyway, back to the music. So, new album that I am liking so far. I'm liking this new Snoop Dogg album. It's called Is It a Crime? Really, really enjoying it. He's got Lil Russell on there. He did a song with Wiz on there. He's got some other artists on there. I think he did a really good job with this album. I've played it a couple of times in the car, just put it on repeat, let it go. Uses a lot of the old school, West Coast beats and things like that. I love me a good West Coast beat, especially when the sun is out. And I've been needing that because we haven't been getting it much in Cleveland lately. But really feeling this album. The one thing that I would like to say about it is it definitely just shows that, first of all, Snoop is a student of the game. I don't know if he'll ever see this, but I commend you on just your continuous longevity in the game and the fact that you still have something to say, and you will still put it out there for us to hear. And I appreciate that. Snoop is a legend, of course. And, you know, if he never made another album, he would still be solidified because he's already solidified. But if he never made another album again, he would still have classic songs to play from his current discography. And he still decides to put new stuff out. And I appreciate that, especially as he is now an old head in the game, and he really could have retired because he's doing so many other things. But he says, you know what, I love music, I love this thing, and I'm gonna keep putting stuff out for my fans. And you gotta just appreciate artists who are like that. So really enjoying that album. I suggest everybody go check it out. The new artist that I've been kind of rocking with, I actually found this dude yesterday. Shout out to Timbaland. I was watching Timbo's YouTube channel. He does like a YouTube and Twitch and TikTok where he allows new and upcoming artists to put 3 songs up, and then he'll give them, you know, game or whatever, and if they get a mission pass, which means he's fucking with their music, he'll follow them, he lets them shout, you know, themselves out, all that. So he had this guy on there yesterday named Agata, and he's I think he's from London or something like that. But man, this dude put some music out, and it's not generally the type of music that I listen to. I called it like I don't even know what category to put it in. I would say it's like a kind of like dance hall, but like, I don't know what country to say it's from. To me, it gives me kind of the African vibes. But man, he played this one song, Violence or something like that. I'll put the name into my video. But it was really good, and it made me go and search him up, and I started listening to some songs, and I'm like, you know, this isn't something I would listen to every day, but this dude is fire. He's killing it. So shout out to Agata, new artist of the week that I've been listening to. Cool guy. Now on to the song of the week that I've been really listening to and excited to share about. My boy YG. Now, I would probably say that the 2 like coasts, if you will, that I listen to the most is West Coast and down south. YG just dropped a new song called Hollywood, and I am loving that song. I've listened to that song maybe 30 times already. It's been one of them songs where I put it on repeat. I reposted his little snippets of the video on my Instagram, all that. I was actually headed to a little function with one of my homegirls, and I put the song on, and maybe 15 seconds in, she was like, "Who is this? I like this. Like, I like this song, and I don't even know why." Like, that song is a banger. Everybody go check out that YG song, Hollywood. It is a certified banger. You heard it here first or second or whatever, but it's good. All right, so that's the end of this episode of Curated Topics. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all got something that you can relate to. I hope that some part of it serves as some motivation for you, and I hope we covered some little interesting topics. I want to shout out a couple of channels, just as you know, there's some channels that help motivate me. First, I want to shout out Beautiful Lies and El Guapo. I don't watch too many episodes of his channel, but I do enjoy when I get a chance to tune in. I think it's been a while since he's done a live, but he's really done me a solid when it's come to promoting my candles and things like that. I think I sent him a candle maybe like a year or so ago, and when he got it, he shouted me out right there on his live, and it helped me out in terms of getting some more business. But also it just helped me because it showed me that, it further showed me that I have a good product, and it's something that people can get behind, and they are enjoying the candles that I'm making, and it just helped, give me the confidence in that area. So shout out to Beautiful Lies and El Guapo over there. Really appreciate it. And yeah, the other channel I want to shout out, and this is just because of seeing the growth, MTR, which is Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. He just did a video not too long ago, and he has a whole new setup, and I am not gonna lie, that setup looks amazing. He has put a lot of work and effort into his channel. I think he's been doing it for like 5 or 6 years now. I haven't been watching for 5 or 6 years. I'd probably say I've been tuning in the last maybe 2. I don't know. The first video I ever saw he did in front of a brick wall somewhere. I don't know where he was living, but he went from a brick wall to a whole new studio. So, you can use that as some more motivation. It's not about where you start. It's all about getting started and building to what you envision. And after seeing his new setup and things like that, that's the motivation that I took from it. And it made me just be like, you know what? Yeah, I gotta get started. It's not, if you wait until you have the perfect thing, you'll never do it, because you won't get the perfect thing until you get started. So shout out to him. Shout out to the new setup. Looks real good. Keep it up, dog. Whatever you're doing, it's working. And last but not least, want to shout out to the lead attorney. First of all, hope all is well. Second of all, I really liked his channel because watching his channel, it's not just entertainment, right? So the lead attorney, he goes through cases, and he actually uses his knowledge to talk about these different cases, whether they're high profile or not. And he puts some real insight on the law and on the way and the little nuances behind being in a courtroom and things like that. And he gave out a piece of advice one day just to everyone, where he was like, look, if you're 30 or 35 and over, get on YouTube. You've got things to share. You've got something to say. And it really made me think like, yeah, maybe I do have something to say, or I can share, and that can go towards helping somebody else. And that mindset has actually helped me throughout my life. I'm doing some things right now where I get a chance to share my experiences with some people who are younger than me and stuff like that. And you can really see the difference that it makes. So shout out to him and that little piece of advice. Appreciate it. With that being said, we're going to close out for tonight. Hope everybody's having a great evening. Hope everybody had a great holiday weekend. Sorry I didn't get the video out on Monday. I was cooking out with my friends and having a good time. And when I got home, I just needed to relax. So I appreciate y'all bearing with me. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Everybody have a great night.